How would a new homestead get past the emotional heartache of processing animals? That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh geez,
There's
we're
a
just
lot of
gonna
people
talk
that
forever.
are talking about that. Like
Oh
when
really?
yeah, when you posted on the canvas on Instagram of the, speaking of canvases, the pig that you
Oh,
scraped, and you were talking about it as art, and
yeah.
someone was like, "Yeah, I want to think about that." It was a new concept to them.
Yes.
The emotional part, and
Yeah, I remember that comment, and I think that my goal there is to emphasize the art inherent to thankless tasks, the things that don't get the spotlight. You know, like, oh, hi, Therese. That's nice. You gonna join us? Hi. Yeah. To emphasize the thankless tasks. And there is no more behind the curtain, pay no attention to that man, task than animal killing, particularly in America. And it's not out of love for animals. It's out of disgust for killing. And the things that are associated with it. Disgust for blood and fear of the unknown substances that might gross you out too much. And then there is I think there is an emotional element, because so much of our interaction with animals is conditioned and shaped by pets rather than livestock. And so the notion that you would love an animal and then shoot it in the head is a very contradictory. That's contradictory. That seems impossible to hold those two things in one brain consistently. You're going to distract me the whole time, Therese. And, and I can only kind of tell you through some of my experience, but one thing for me was experiencing the quote unquote natural death of livestock. And I think I might have mentioned this too many times before, but killing livestock, an animal that has been genetically tailored to being killed at a certain age for many generations, allowing that animal to expire naturally is no kindness to that animal. Nature is not nice. And so when that animal dies, it is very slowly and excruciating. And, one example I encountered was, some people keep sheep on Vashon, and sometimes they're just lawn ornaments. They're there to clip the grass. And so they will live for like 13 years or 15 years. Wow. And but then they don't call me to harvest them. That would be wonderful if they called me to harvest them, even at 12 years, and it's still a happy, a healthy old sheep. And I don't even think you could call it a ewe, because a lot of these sheep never procreate. But I get called when the animal's down. So they have already been through an unconscionable amount of suffering. And the only reason that we can countenance it is because we are ignorant of the suffering, because it's internal and, she's not objecting too much. But the fact is she can't get up, like at all, so the back end of her body doesn't work anymore. That's the result of a lot of pain. That is going to be accompanied by some lots of shutting down of neurological systems, and it's definitely not going to be pain-free. And then I go there and I put the poor girl out of her misery, and she barely bleeds out because her blood pressure is like a trickle. She on a healthy lamb, when you slit their throat, it's just geysers spraying out because they've got lots of blood pressure and they're healthy. But she's just dribbles out, and she goes down. And then upon evisceration, it's like you get in there and you look at their organs, and it's like, oh, every little thing is deteriorating to the point of being almost unrecognizable relative to their healthy counterparts. And it stinks. She was rotting while she was alive. So the kill is quick in the context of a harvest, and it is kind. So there's that. That's basically just a very pragmatic, like if you can interject that pragmatism into the time to kill your, whatever it might be, your meat ducks or your goats, kids, or whatever, if you can interject that real-time pragmatism, that thought that this is actually a kindness. It really is. And the only reason that you would let them live longer is not for their good. It's for your own emotional comfort. It's for your comfort, right? And I think it's pretty easy for anybody to know that, well, there's more important things than my comfort. One of them is the quick, decisive killing of this animal in the most pain-free manner. Because if you approach the kill of an animal you have affection for, as I hope you do for all of your backyard livestock that you intend to eat, that you have affection for them, if you approach that with the reticence born of, oh, I like this guy, I don't want to hurt him, you will prolong the suffering of the animal. So you actually have to approach it with a lot of deliberation and what might have previously felt to you like violence, because you might have to recalibrate the way you think about this. And the most decisive, quick, strong-armed, intentional killing is the best thing.
It's the most merciful
for the animal. It is the most merciful thing you can do. So that's, and the way that has played out in my mind is I don't think about myself. I have to try not to think about myself. So
there you go.
People ask me all the time at a slaughter, like, does this ever affect you? When you kill so many animals, thousands of pigs, thousands of chickens, and whatever, does it affect you? And it's like I can't put myself in the equation. It's actually not about me. It's about delivering the death effectively, and I am the instrument of that. But the object is the animal. That is the important thing. And so I'm going to actually put my feelings in the back seat for this greater good that is more important than the way I'm feeling at that moment. And execute this well. And I think I had that whole framework provided for me when the first animals I killed, because it was in the context of a job, and I'm a really good employee. And so I definitely feel the obligation to execute my duties well and my employment well. And so I had that framework when I first killed a lamb, but I was already committed to it. And you just don't want to unduly regard your emotions and mistake them for the reality of the situation, because that can be at the great cost to the animal, to the livestock.
Well, some of the best work that we all do is done when we forget ourselves, right? And we don't let our emotions take their improper role.
Influence, yeah. Well, and that's the crazy thing about it is, if you feel a great deal of reticence because you have an emotional connection to the animal, you will betray it big time. You will feel like the most cruel human in the cosmos if the death doesn't go well, right? Because of that reticence caused by your emotional attachment. So it can betray you. It can betray you. You want to
work it all out.
Put the animal first. That's really what I'm thinking. Put the animal before yourself. And what that means is quick, decisive kill.